Welcome to Nuclear Learning, an online initiative produced by the Stimson Center to facilitate the study of South Asia's nuclear trajectories. Our first open online course, Nuclear South Asia, is available free of charge at nuclearlearning.org. This video is part of a special series on deterrence and North Korea and features Professor Scott Sagan, the Caroline S.G. Munro Professor of Political Science at Stanford University. We discuss the role of nuclear accidents on deterrence with North Korea.
During this past year, the United States public experienced a serious false warning of a nuclear attack incident. The Hawaiian warning system sent out an alert on people's cell phones and on television, telling them that a missile warning had been issued. This is not a drill, the report said. A North Korean missile was on its way. That panicked a number of people on the beaches or in their homes who knew that they had only 15 minutes, if this was accurate, to get out of the way or to do what you would do in the final 15 minutes of your life. At the higher levels, however, no one panicked, and the reasons were threefold. First, we have redundant sensors, so none of our other warning systems indicated an attack was coming. People could be reassured. Second, the people involved in this system immediately said we made a mistake. They recognized what the problem had occurred. It took them a while to notify the public, but nobody up above in the chain of command was fooled. People down below said, look, we made a mistake and we're going to fix it. And third, people at the highest levels and locally did not really think that Kim Jong-un was about to launch a missile starting a nuclear war against Hawaii. So that let us assume that this was a false warning rather than a real warning. Now imagine that incident taking place in a different context with different technical systems, but a similar false warning incident occurring in North Korea today. Would any of those three conditions that made this an incident and not a great tragic accident occur? One, redundant systems. No, the North Koreans depend on radars. They don't have a lot of redundancy of overhead satellites giving them information or multiple sources of information. Second, do they have brave officers who would report up saying we made a grave mistake? Or do they have yes men who are afraid to report up because they know the consequences of making a mistake in the North Korean dictatorial system can be really deadly, quite literally deadly? And third, they might actually think that the United States is about to attack them, and therefore their initial inclination would be to assume the worst, assume that this really is an attack. Why do they think the United States might attack them? Because we have often told them that we might attack them. So when the President of the United States says that if you keep threatening us, we may have to completely destroy North Korea, or the Vice President of the United States says that all options are on the table, or that if you don't make a deal, that we may have to go to the Libyan model to deal with your problem. Those are all direct threats of preventive war. So I think one of the first things we could do to reduce the tension is in the coming years, while we're working towards disarmament, to stop the rhetoric of preventive war, to stop some of the extreme threats that have been made. Because those threats not only may have a coercive positive benefit, but they also have a real dangerous benefit because they make people assume the worst if there are ever false warnings. And that's how an accident could spark a war.